Hey everybody, welcome to MCP Soundcheck. I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And today we're continuing our look at the discography of Pantera by looking at Far Beyond Driven and the Great Southern Trendkill.
We gotta stop being silly, Scott. These are very serious records with very serious tones.
Oh, are they gonna get serious? Super serious.
Yeah. So
uncomfortably serious.
Let's start off by saying Far Beyond Driven being the first super heavy record to didn't it debut at number 1?
Yes, it did. This album, I believe this album completely outperformed Vulgar Display of Power in almost every way.
I think this
commercially.
I think this record benefits from what Vulgar did and how long they toured on it.
Yeah.
And really kind of put the Pantera name out there.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they went heavier on this record.
And faster.
At times.
Definitely at the beginning.
And I think Far Beyond Driven, as great of a record as it is, I think it's a beneficiary of the groundwork that Vulgar Display of Power laid.
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah.
This record is not bad in any way, shape, or form. Neither is Great Southern Trendkill. But I definitely think that this record definitely built off the goodwill of the previous two records.
This one and Great Southern Trendkill, very moody records.
Yes.
Very
would you dare say
upsetting.
Would you dare say these two records are like the equivalent of when you get a job somewhere only because you have a friend who already works there?
Yeah, and then they quit.
And then they quit, yes.
And you're stuck there at this place that's crushing your soul every day.
And then one of your friends decides to start up another business, but doesn't want any of you guys in there because he had the biggest back surgery in the history of back surgeries. That's a reference to Down, if y'all can't figure out what I'm talking about there.
But you want to talk about Far Beyond Driven?
Yes.
What you think generally?
I think this is a very angry record.
Yes, it is.
This is a great record. If you're the kind of person when you're pissed off, or you just need a reason to be angry, or you need something to help you get that anger out, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is listen to this record.
It's a very punishing record to listen to.
It kind of exercises that demon. I'll tell you this, I wasn't in a bad mood or anything listening to it, but if I was, it would have been so. I think the therapeutic, cathartic would be the best way to describe this record. This is not a record you put on to be happy.
And I think a lot of songs towards the middle of this record really exemplify the cathartic and therapeutic nature of it.
And not only that, but a lot of these songs, it's not just man, I think they're talking about people that did them wrong or something bad that happened. No,
they're talking about themselves.
No, they straight up. The lyrics are straight up like an argument.
Yeah.
They basically, some of these songs feel like Strength Beyond Strength is an example of that as well, where it feels like they literally recorded an argument, jotted down the words from that argument, and made a song.
Well, I think it bounces,
and that's the best way to describe it. This album is a musical argument.
Well, I think it bounces back and forth between empowering I'm better than you kind of lyrics, the Strength Beyond Strength, and then it the next song will be self-deprecating, I'm broken.
It's which who can't relate to that? Sometimes we feel like a god, and the other times we feel like a piece of garbage.
I found that really interesting when you look at the seesaw effect throughout the first part of this record.
And with how aggressive the album is, it's hard. It's kind of easy to lose that idea. You really got to be listening to the lyrics, which sometimes listening to the lyrics gets you in trouble when you're listening to it.
What's your favorite song on the record?
My favorite song on the record would have to be.
Best song?
It would have to be Unbroken. It's a great riff. It's one of the few. I don't want to sound like a dick by saying this. It's one of the few songs on the record, if that makes sense.
Where it's not an argument.
Yeah, it's not. It's not just basically this album was Phil was hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but I'm into hardcore punk. And fuck it, let's do hardcore punk. Some of it is like that, and I love hardcore, so don't think it's a knock on the genre or anything like that. Hell, watch our AFI reviews, you'll know that right away. But that's the thing. It's when you're used to them actually writing songs. It can be jarring, and like I said, Unbroken, it's a great riff regardless. I get it stuck in my head. Sometimes I'll just get the riff stuck in my head. Forget about lyrics. I'll get the riff stuck in my head.
I feel like they're a little bit more experimental with the songs themselves on this record.
Yes.
Like the way they're structured and kind of even the themes they go into later.
Yeah. And even doing the Planet Caravan cover, I think, was a little jarring, probably, to a lot of people. It was almost like you needed it with how that's something we should have mentioned. With how aggressive and just powerful this record is. It's so nice that it ends on a true to the original cover of Planet Caravan.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fucking genius.
My best song is I'm Broken. I think it's the best Pantera song ever.
God, we agreed on something.
Yeah, 5 Minutes Alone's great.
5 Minutes Alone is that's definitely a song you listen to after you just lost a legit argument, or you just got into a fight, or you just got fired, or just any situation.
You've been wrongly accused of something.
Yeah, and you're just like, fuck you, like, you're just like, I want to take this fight. Like, basically, like, if you can't get your revenge, just listen to this, and you'll feel like you got it.
Yeah, but I'm Broken is such a great song, and I always forget that it's on Far Beyond Driven. I sometimes think it's on Vulgar just
and you know what? It probably would have beefed up Vulgar to where I'm like, if you replace like one of the lower ranked songs on Vulgar with I'm Broken, I think you would have had a much better Vulgar would have been better in my opinion than Cowboys.
It's so earwormy, that riff. Like, it just stays in your head.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
And the thing is, Dime had a way with like taking simple riffs and just making them work.
Yeah.
Like, not that he was a simple guitarist, far from it, but he was so good at like guitar as a whole that he knew how to take simple notes, like Walk is only like essentially 2 or 3 notes, and he turned that into like one of the catchiest melodies you ever heard. And that's another example. Now, what would you say, Joe, is your least favorite song on the record? Because I feel like we might agree on this one, too.
I'm going to get this out of the way. It's not bad, but I don't see where it fits. And we already mentioned it. And it's the Planet Caravan cover.
I'll tell you where it fits. Like I was saying, I think it's like you had all this anger and aggression. Take a break. Take a rest.
Yeah.
You got your anger out. Calm down. Go into the world.
Yeah. I just don't think it doesn't work for me on the record.
Now, are you picking that as your worst?
No.
Okay. What would you pick as your worst, though?
I've got 2 suggestions, and I think
if one of your suggestions isn't mine, I'm gonna be very, very curious as to why.
I think Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills.
That is the worst. That is the worst song on this goddamn record. Why was it there? It should have been scrapped from the record. I'll tell you what, the Planet Caravan cover, yeah, it may not fit with everything else, but I'm sure it like fits in the sense of, you know, like their sense of humor. But this was just, it was literally like, I think they just recorded Phil talking about stuff, and then then he was like, hey Dom, do a riff, and I'll do a beat. And then Rex will do something, and we'll just make a track. And it'll be great. And they'll be like, you sure it's a good idea? And Vinnie Paul went, hell yeah!
The other one I had was Throes of Rejection. I didn't think that was that strong. It wasn't a strong...
Throes of Rejection, yeah, you can take or leave.
Yeah, but Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills, which is funny because I think of them as companion tracks. You have Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills, and you have Hard Lines and Sunken Cheeks, and that's a much better song.
Now, you know, because they're not afraid of the long song. If they would have just combined them into one track, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that they didn't, I have to look at it as 2 tracks. It's not, at least, if it was an instrumental, I could look past it and look at it like you're looking at it.
It's fine.
But the fact that it has lyrics, it's a song, it sucks. I will try to listen to it your way, and maybe I'll like it better, but...
There's a lot of great stuff on the record still. Like, you got Slaughtered in the second half.
Yeah.
You've got 25 Years, which is a super cathartic song.
Yeah.
I think it's also very strong for a second half.
Cathartic cathartic and aggressive.
Yep.
Are the 2 words to best sum up this record, I think.
Yep.
Now, speaking of albums, next up we've got The Great Southern Trendkill.
Another cathartic record.
Another very cathartic record.
Particularly 2 songs.
Here's how I feel about this one. This album, remember how I said back that Cowboys from Hell and Vulgar Display of Power were similar, had like the same quality, but because of the order of the tracks, I thought Cowboys from Hell was superior. Mm-hmm. This is another example of that between Far Beyond Driven and Southern Trendkill. I think you have the same quality of songs. I think there's more melody in this record than there was in the previous one.
In some places.
In some places. Well, no, just in general. Hell, having a melody.
That's true.
But
there's places where it's completely absent.
But I definitely think this album was paced a lot better. I thought, like all the records, I thought it definitely came out swinging. But I think between the two we're talking about today, honestly, I think of all of them, I think Strength Beyond Strength is their best opener. Like, I
disagree. I think Mouth for War.
Don't get me wrong. Mouth for War is great. If it's number 2, it's like it's neck and neck. It's like this. But Strength Beyond Strength just comes out of the gate with just fucking aggression and just piss and vinegar that I just love. This one is like, he's angry, but he's focused. Mm-hmm. Whereas Strength Beyond Strength is like, he's focused, but he's not focused. This one, and I think the opening track, Great Southern Trendkill, is really good. Mm-hmm. They do have I'll say this, they have a history of good title tracks.
Yeah.
In this run.
I also feel like they have a tendency to have good, strong first halves and weaker second halves. And I think Great Southern Trendkill, I think they mixed it up a little bit with their track listing. Because you get a nice balance of good on each side of the record.
And that's why I think it's an overall great listening experience, because like I said, you get a good first half and a bad second half. You're probably gonna skip that second half, but if you get a bad first half, you're gonna probably skip even more of the album.
That
and you
being
can get
said,
good stuff.
Still a very moody, cathartic, angry record.
It's like they took the anger from the previous record, and they figured out how to focus it and use it. It's almost like, when you write, people say when you write it down, you can truly understand how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. It's like that.
I feel like this record is also a little bit all over the place, like Vulgar Display of Power. Yeah. Because of that, because you have that, you'll have super aggressive songs, and then you'll have a softer song, and then more aggressive, softer, and it's just kind of all over the place, a bunch of the where it's at. And then, we're Far Beyond Driven. We talked about how it goes back and forth between I hate you, I hate me, I hate you, I hate me.
I hate everything.
Everything seems to flow on that record, where it's just an emotional, super aggressive from Strength Beyond Strength, and then you come down, and then you peak back up with Slaughtered in 25 Years, and then you slow back down into Planet Caravan, where this one's kind of, it could go song by song. Yeah, and really shift on it.
It's almost like, in a weird way, it's like, by being as varied as it is, it can be a blessing and a curse. To me, I thought it sounded more varied, but at the same time, it didn't I will admit, it didn't have the same kind of flow, but I guess because musically it was a little different. Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, musically, they do a lot of different stuff on this record.
Yeah. And before we get into best and worst, I have to ask. I'm going to ask a question.
You're going to ask me a question, or are you going to ask them a question?
Both.
Oh.
Is 13 Steps to Nowhere racist?
It might be.
I looked up the lyrics, and while I can't find anything that I could definitely say is overt racism, I can't find anything that says it's not overt racism. I don't know how to feel about this one. That's why,
because it looks to me, it looks like he's wagging the finger at everybody.
But is he wagging it at himself?
That's the thing. He's not. Not in the song.
And that's the problem with problem with Phil doing it, particularly in this song than other songs, is if you're gonna look at everyone, you gotta look at yourself. And Pantera is usually good at introspection and looking at yourself.
Look at the last record.
That's why even though I thought 13 Steps to Nowhere musically was great.
Great song.
I couldn't pick it as a best or even an honorable mention. It's literally just a mention, because I don't want to pick a racist song. Even as good as the music may be, I don't want to pick a racist song. I'm not into racism. It's kind of not my bag.
Right.
But I mean, there were a lot of great songs on this record. But I think the best song, and I'll be surprised if you disagree, but I think the best song on this album was Floods.
It's up there.
It has a great...
I think I have it in my picks for best.
Honestly, some of Dime's best work on guitar.
Yeah. The solo is legendary in and of itself.
I love Phil's vocals on this. He sounds vulnerable.
Yep.
He sounds angry. He sounds angry that he's vulnerable. Mm-hmm. It's a different layer to Pantera, and everything works well. Like, I think this song really shows that Pantera could, if they want to, they can do anything.
It's funny, like, because I always think of Floods as like, this is gonna strike you weird. I know it is.
All right.
I always think of it as a companion song to When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin. Thematically.
I could see that.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's dealing with floods. He's from New Orleans. You know, that's where the levees are. You know, Led Zeppelin's talking about the blues and being like, you know, these people are going to be trapped. And this is kind of the song where maybe not explicitly about raining in New Orleans, but the levee breaks and they're getting flooded in and he's mad about it.
Yeah.
And he's just mad that he's stuck and stymied about it.
But yeah, no, Floods is probably one of the best songs they've ever done. It just hit so good. The way Phil sings it, the melody is so catchy. Not just the guitar, but the melody. Like I said, the solos, the guitar work on this cannot be overstated.
I'd argue that is one thing. Like, this is the Phil Anselmo performance of the record.
Yeah.
Just like in the last record, I'm Broken is one of them. In Vulgar Display of Power, you have This Love, Cowboys from Hell, it's Cemetery Gates. There's like a shining Phil Anselmo performance on every record where it's just like, that's the guy.
And you're like,
that I need
shit,
all
he
the
can
time.
sing.
Yeah.
He's not just all screaming monotone and back surgeries. And racism. He can actually sing. And by the way, if Phil watches this, just so you know, I'm not shitting on you, dude. I'm just shitting on the possibility of racism that cloud that hovers over you. I do think you're a talented musician, singer, songwriter, you name it. Not only do I love Pantera, but I love Down. I love Superjoint. I was one of the few people in my high school, like in my group, that actually listened to Superjoint. So don't think for a second I'm shitting on you, dude. I do like what you put out.
Quit sucking up.
I gotta suck up because he'll fuck me up.
I need to talk about my favorite song on that.
Okay, I'm just saying, Phil will kill me.
Alright.
What's your favorite?
Because I like, Drag the Waters is a great song.
Drag the Waters is a great song.
I love War Nerve and the Suicide Note songs. I like both of those songs a lot.
Love Suicide Note.
Well, the three songs.
Love
Suicide Note. Because I always... Alright, Suicide Note Part 1 and 2, like, I kind of put them together.
Well, yeah, they're Part 1 and Part 2.
They're a couplet. You can't listen to one without the other.
If you had to pick, which was the better part?
I always like the second part.
Oh, dude, Part 1 is so much better.
Part 1's good, but, I'm here for the catharsis, man. Like, I'm ready. Like,
catharsis be damned.
Yeah, let's start screaming, bro.
Ah!
But those are my picks.
All right. Now, what would you say is your least favorite song?
Ooh, this is gonna get it.
Because you're gonna hate my least.
I don't know.
Would you like to know what it is while you're thinking about it?
What is it?
War Nerve.
Oh, really?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
You don't like the riff or the aggression in the vocals?
It's Phil. It's the vocals. It's how it's done. It just feels... It feels like Kyle drinking a Monster punching holes in drywall. I hate to use a timely meme, but that's just the vibe I get from
the video, Scott.
That's the vibe. No, Kyle is immortal. Kyle is infinite. Kyle is forever. He is inevitable.
But I got a few. I got 10s. Didn't like.
You got 10 songs? My God, how many songs were on this album? I think there were only 12. You hated 10 songs. Oh.
The song 10s.
Oh, sorry, y'all. My bad.
Yeah, the song 10s. Didn't dig it. That's the one song on the first half of the record I didn't like.
I like 10s.
And then Sandblasted Skin.
I don't know what the fuck was going on there, especially at the end. They did a fade out into the fade in. Don't get it.
Yeah, that could be gone. And did I have any more on there? Oh, The Underground in America is just kind of forgettable.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
But 10s and Sandblasted Skin were ones I was like, Do I have to keep going? Because these are long songs.
Now, how did you feel about the song "Living Through Me"? Because I like it. I wouldn't call it a best, but I definitely call it an honorable mention.
I thought I was going to put it on my worst list when I first saw the track listing, because this is the album I've listened to the least out of Pantera's discography.
I think a lot of people would agree. Would say it's the same case for them.
When I was reading the song titles, and I'm like, I don't remember that song title, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm probably not gonna like this. And I got to it, and I was like, nope, this is really, really good song, and not quite best worthy. Yeah. But certainly nowhere near the worst.
Definitely worth a mention at the very least.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. It's go time.
Are we doing the ranking?
How do you rank the 8 Pantera records we have discussed
so far? Cowboys. Vulgar.
All right.
Far Beyond Driven.
All right.
Great Southern Trendkill.
We're going chronological on this one. Well, until we get to the 80s.
Power Metal.
All right.
Projects in the Jungle. I Am the Night. And Metal Magic.
I
was able to do them all without looking at it.
Good on you.
Thank you.
So my 8, in order from best to worst, Cowboys from Hell. I like how I faked them out. Like I was going to do the thumb, but no, finger. Number 2, Vulgar Display of Power.
Okay.
Number 3, The Great Southern Trendkill. Sorry, this record just hit me like where it's right in the heart. I think a little more.
Right in the war nerve.
Right in the war nerve. Number 4, Far Beyond Driven. Number 5, Power Metal. Number 6, I Am the Night. Number 7, Metal Magic. And number 8, Projects in the Jungle.
Look at that.
So that's
somewhat similar, but different.
Yes. We at least agree that Cowboys from Hell is great.
Yeah.
And Vulgar, for that matter.
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty ironed in there. Unless
more or less.
Reinventing the Seal is like a revelation.
Yeah. It's almost like they did, in fact, reinvent the Seal.
They might have.
Yeah.
But we got to end the episode.
That's right. So that's our thoughts on Far Beyond Driven and The Great Southern Trendkill. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to get references to any new productions of Condish Productions. Next show, we're going to do something a little special for you. Since we only got one more Pantera record, we can't do a twofer. So I thought, when the hell are we going to get to talk about this on a show like this? So we're going to review both Pantera's final record, Reinventing the Steel.
Give our rankings for the Pantera.
Give a ranking for Pantera. And then we're going to give you a treat. We're going to talk about the one and only release of Damage Plan, Newfound Power.
Spoiler alert, it's going to be their best record.
Yeah. And you know what?
It's also their worst record.
And you know what? It's probably their most mediocre record, too.
Probably.
But, hope to see you then. Till next time, I'm Scott.
And I'm Joe.
And remember that rock and roll never forgets, and neither do we. We'll see you next time.